Okay, welcome back everyone. This is our second session for today with Shalini, and we are going to be speaking on your mindset today. So this is a topic we are very excited about. Okay. We no speaker has actually touched on this area over the last 3 days. So I think it's the perfect way to just end our whole virtual summit event for this weekend. Yeah, so please make sure that you guys have your notebooks and your pen. You know, there are a lot of things along the way that, you know, when the speakers are speaking, like both of us as well, we are like always taking down stuff because it's just so much of valuable information and knowledge and things to work on and you know, tips that are being shared that you do not want to lose out on. So this is the main reason why we are wanting to do this virtual summit event. Yeah. And yeah, we want you guys to get the most out of it. So firstly, thank you so much, Shalini, for your time today, for actually taking this time off to just spend with us on your Sunday evening. We are very excited for the session.
Yeah, exactly. We are really, really humbled that you could join us tonight. And also, Shalini would love an interactive session with you guys. She really wants to be able to connect with you. So if along the way, you know, you want to ask questions or there's something that you want her to talk about, maybe even feel free to drop your comments in the comment section under the live. And we'll let Shalini take over now.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. First of all, Sue and Sudha, thanks for having me. It's a great, great pleasure. You have no idea. I think I confessed something to Sudha when she was like reaching out to me via Instagram. I was like, okay, is this prank? You know, I had to like read the message, and I told some of my friends, I think it's a prank. You know, it's like, what? It's like I had to read the message again. I was like, it's really Sudha. Okay, fine. You know, I did it. You know. So
yeah, because I was noticing your work not more on Facebook. I used to see, you know, the posts that you put up, and I realized that you were into this whole women empowerment thing and you were a speaker and trainer. And I was like, I think she would be really good, you know, to get on the summit to be able to touch on these topics for our audience.
So that was going to be my next question. Why me? You know, it's like, I think this is one of the greatest evidence that law of attraction works because, you know, I think I started my makeup journey as a MUA, right? MUA, right? Back in 2014. And I actually looked up to you guys. It's like, if I don't get like some appointments, makeup appointments or what, I will immediately either I will recommend, of course, my teacher or you guys. It's like, you guys are amazing, seriously. It's like, I think, since I was growing up, it's like, from my information, right, as far as I know, I think you guys are like the pioneer who made it international. So like, a big kudos, a shout out to you both, because it's not easy, really, really not easy. And I've read all your stories, how you guys grew up, and how hard, what kind of hard time you guys had.
Yeah,
and it's definitely not easy. And without growth mindset, what are we, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Shalini.
I'm so happy and thrilled. You have no idea. I'm still like, okay, I can't believe this. So just before we move on, actually, my student is she wants to join this, but then she has sent request to join the group, and it's not approved.
What's her name?
Jamuna. She wants to join this session, so she's like currently a makeup artist, and she wants to.
I don't see her request for the group though.
Yeah, I think she's already in. All right, thank you so much.
Okay, yeah.
Right, okay, sorry. Okay, then I think just before we start, I of course need to introduce myself. But why growth mindset is so important? I think if I want to say this as just to make the makeup artists out there understand better, this whole thing, the growth mindset, positive mindset, and all this is like the primer that you apply before your makeup. It's like if you don't apply your primer before your makeup, you affect your skin. Okay, likewise, if you don't have your growth mindset as an entrepreneur, I think it erodes your soul. Sooner or later, you will feel very tired. You'll feel like, why did I do this? What did I subscribe for? You know, this kind of mindset will kick in, and then you're gonna give up at some point. Because I did at some point, but I just kicked my butt. I said no, go for it. Okay, because I feel like entrepreneurship journey is like a one-way street. Once you are there, if you turn back, it's going to be a big U-turn. So you don't want to do that. So you might as well just embrace the storm and just move forward. So that's where your growth mindset is. And that's what I want to talk about today. So a little bit about myself. I want to share my slides here. Yeah. So Jamuna, I hope you have joined. She's my student. She was like so excited. Oh my God, phases, phases. So yeah. Jamuna, if you're watching, feel free to drop your comment so that we can see you. So do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, phases.
She says she's joined, she's here.
Yeah.
Yay, nice. Okay. She is a very young, one of our beneficiaries in Wild Malaysia, and she is currently already a makeup artist. So she's aspiring to become a great one in the future. So that's why I said, okay, join this session. All right. I think I first of all, again, I want to thank Phases for giving me this opportunity, because I always have this thing to tell women how important your mindset is. I think our mindset is what separates us from the rest, right? So it's so important. So thank you again, Phases. I just want to quickly introduce myself. Of course, I started my journey as an entrepreneur. The pictures can be like all over, but let me just start from the top left.
Yeah.
For your view, I started off, of course, as a makeup artist in 2014. So that time, I was like, I always tell myself, I need to have a side gig. I cannot have like one source of income. That's not me at all. So I think this entrepreneur, that kind of a vibe, the skill set, all been there in me all along, because my father, he used to actually sell newspaper at one point. He was a chef. And then after his retirement and all that, when I was in Form 1, 13 years old, he used to be a newspaper vendor. So I just love the idea of business, doing business. I'm like, oh my God, wow, you have a product and people coming to you. I just love the idea so much. So the one thing, one day when my third sister was getting married, so when my teacher, my makeup teacher was applying makeup on my sister, I told myself, this is what I want to do.
Mm.
So it was not easy journey though, because this is where we are talking about limiting beliefs. Because from a very conservative middle class family, right, to break free from that mindset is never been easy for me. And I'm the youngest out of four girls, and I'm the first person who actually ventured into business in my family. So it was not easy for them to also accept. They were like, first, of course, they were supportive, but then everybody will be skeptical, right? They'll be like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? Do you think you have what it takes? All kinds of questions. But then I only asked myself, hey, can I really do this? I know it's not an easy feat because I know nothing about makeup. But all I knew was uh, it looks good. You are making somebody look good, presentable, and all that. So I thought, okay, I will learn and I will somehow do it. So I learned, I enrolled on the course right after my sister's wedding. I told my sister's friend, who was my makeup teacher. So I said, I want to learn. I didn't even have enough money. So I pay her in installments. I learned from YouTube. I enhanced my skills and all that. So it's like even now, I'm not practicing makeup like full time. It's still a freelance thing. So even if I'm stranded on the road, I don't know what to do. I still have my makeup kit. I will go and make my money. So that's how amazing this skill is, right? So then I was a news reader in Bernama News Channel. So this was in 2011. So I always had this makeup thing going on the side. I never let go of it. It's like I just love the thing so much. And then currently, I am a trainer. I'm a public speaker. I'm a HRD certified trainer. So I do these programs like professional development trainings, customer service trainings, public speaking coaching, and all that. So I didn't leave makeup industry altogether. I always bring it to my corporate trainings, like personal branding, grooming, and all that. So I will always apply my skills there. So it never went waste. So that's one thing about growth mindset. Don't think whatever you are learning is going to go waste. I think learning, education will never go waste. So the knowledge is always applicable wherever you go. So right now, I also just now I told you guys that I have this NGO. It's called as Wild Malaysia. Just ironically, just want to be wild and all that. So it stands for Young Women in Leadership and Development. So right now we have about 80 beneficiaries, young girls. So we aspire to grow more. I started this in 2019 um, due to some, how to say, like I always had this. I wanted to do something for the girls, but I didn't know what exactly. But in 2019, when my cousin sister actually, she committed suicide out of depression.
Okay.
So one promise I told myself is I will never let another girl do this anymore. It's like it all started with the mental health, and then I developed the programs. We wanted to guide the girls for leadership and all that. So that's how the journey sort of started. So this is what I do right now. So to jump into growth mindset, guys, just to set your expectation, it's going to be very interactive. I want you all to please relate this to yourself. So I'm not going to give you anything fancy here. Every single thing is going to be from my experience, how I beat my own limiting beliefs. I think that's more relatable for everybody. So let's just start. I just want to address these 5 things here today. First of all, what is growth mindset, and why do we as entrepreneurs we have to have the growth mindset, and how do we actually foster growth mindset? And then I want you all you to think with me, what kind of how to say like a foolproof or surefire way kind of a mindset that entrepreneurs should have, especially the young ones. Because I think these days, whenever I do my observation, they give up too fast. It's like they want everything overnight.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, yeah, nobody's gonna hand it over to you like, yeah, here you go, gold plate. No way. So it takes sweat, it takes hard work, it takes continuous learning. So it takes a lot of failures.
Yeah.
So if you cannot bounce back from failure, that's where it's like, it's your own pitfall. It's right there. And lastly, I want to cover ethics. I always wished to have a platform to actually do a shout out, like to tell especially makeup artists about ethics. One of the reasons I actually moved away from the industry was because of this issue. Not the makeup artist ethics alone, but the people's ethics in general. How do I say this? The first thing is punctuality. I don't know why people find it so difficult to be punctual. It's like, they have Rolex watch on hand, but then they have Pasar Malam watch mindset. So it's like, I get so tired every time. So this is what I want to cover for today. Lah. Right. So these 5 things, I think let's learn together. Let's share our thoughts. And especially, I want to learn from Sudha and Sue. I think you guys have seen it all. You have walked the path. So please also share from your point of view as we go along. So basically, I think we want to ask the audience, what exactly is growth mindset? So if you can just drop your comments. I can't see the comments. So if you guys
We will
Read it out.
Yeah.
Whoever's here, right? Just drop your comment as Shalini asks questions along the way. The only problem with Facebook and Zoom is that whenever we are hearing something on live, there's a slight lag, so people get things like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
go first. I think for me now, I feel that growth is about learning and to know that it's something that should never stop. Like when the learning stops, I feel like you stop growing. And I feel like you need to be always at it, like always grow. There's never a set point where you're like, okay, I'm done. I've done enough learning, I've done enough growing, and being open to that, being open to the idea that like you should always be learning, you should always be gaining new stuff, and never feel that you know everything. For me, that's what I think a growth mindset is all about.
Brilliantly said. Yeah. What about Sue? Your take on growth mindset?
I think I would go with the same thing because I think what I find the most beautiful about this whole thing, right? When you are, I think, being open for growth as well, open to be constantly learning, ultimately also changes you and molds you into a better person. So the way I see growth, it's like you always have to be open to learn and absorb new information and new things because it honestly never stops. Like you could be at the peak, but it's still not it yet. There is still so much more for you to learn. And I think that is like one should always embrace that. So for me, growth is a learning process. And I think I always also view it as something that's really beautiful and nice and meaningful because I think it's a gift to always be constantly like learning new things.
So very well said. Yeah. So it's basically this is how we all grew up. We were conditioned I think basically I want to share with all of you. This is not a paid promotion. I just want to share. This is a self-help book that I'm currently reading. It's called Radical Learning. Not sure if you can see this,
Yeah.
by Dr. Shefali. So I've been her ardent follower for like 3 years now, and she actually speaks about it so well. And this is about unlocking our own potential, and
Right.
this is about undoing all the lies we have been told about ourselves. So it took me a very long time, and thanks to my parents, because without the education, without the exposure, I wouldn't have actually seen the other side of the world. Because like sometimes they say, okay, if you're from this middle class, okay, this is your place, this is where you belong. Finish your education, go get a job, get married, settle down. So this is kind of a fixed mindset that we all grew up.
Yeah.
And to break free from it, I personally struggled a lot. So it was not easy. So that's what I want to share today. And if you ask, why do we even need a growth mindset? Because I think new mindset brings new results.
Yeah.
It's like without the change in mindset, we're going to be stagnant. We're going to be in one place. And by the time you actually go along that journey, when you turn back and look, you will always have this question, only if I was not that fearful, only if I took that extra step. Because I talk to so many women who are beyond 40 years old, and all of them say the same thing. They say, I only wish that, I had your courage to do things. It's like if you step out of a bad relationship, if you step out of something that doesn't serve your highest purpose, people always regret.
Mm.
So I only told myself I don't want to regret. And even though when people sometimes when I venture into something new, there's always people who gonna tell you, hey, don't do this. Maybe this is not your cup of tea. It's like for me, right? I will only know if this is my cup of tea if I jump into it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. If I make mistake, it's fine. It's like at least I will know, okay, I had this experience, I will move on to other industry. And that's how I started my makeup industry as well. From there, I just moved on. So to ask people, how do we make this shift from fixed mindset to growth mindset? Because it's always easier said than done. It's not easy. So if you can actually identify, ladies or gentlemen, you are watching this, I know so many male makeup artists who are really, really doing amazing jobs. So if you want to recall one thing from your personal life and one thing from your business life, sorry about the S, which is it's because I downloaded this from Canva. So if you want to just recall your yes moment, when you thought to yourself from fixed mindset, you move to growth mindset. To me, I told myself one of my fixed mindsets was that I'm not fit for business. I'm not um, I'm not a good fit to do my own business. I'm not an entrepreneur because the word scares me, really. Because like years ago, that word, like, hey, I can't even pronounce it properly. So it's like, so it's like I can't do this, that kind of mindset. It's like a far-fetched dream. It's like, oh, only for the high-profile people, only for the rich people.
Yeah.
So I took a lot of courage. It took a lot from me to actually change the perspective, to see how it doesn't mean that you have to be so rich or high end to be an entrepreneur. So when I recalled my father when he was the newspaper vendor, it's like I saw a lot of discipline, and I think I observed a lot from him growing up. The sense of dedication, even though it's just the newspaper thing, right? But he has to get up like 4 o'clock in the morning. He'll be so disciplined. He will serve his clients like kings and queens on time, and when people are coming, the regular customers, he will treat them so well. So things like that I really watched, and then I think, oh, that's my moment to change my mindset. But growing up again, it was not easy lah. So I want you guys to think about it now. Maybe you can take like 30 seconds to think, okay, for in my personal forte, I changed this particular fixed thing to growth mindset. What was that one thing? Maybe you guys want to think about it now. And also for your business, maybe you were not so sure about yourself, because I know some women like now, especially in this digital era during the pandemic, they were like, oh my god, Shalini, I can't believe I'm selling stuff online. It's like, they just needed some push. All, I think anybody is same for anybody. Everybody needs some kind of push. If somebody look up to you and say, hey, go for it, I think that's all we need. But the sad part is sometimes we don't even have that somebody. It's like you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to push yourself. You have to kick your butt. It's like, hey, get up, do it. You have no other thing to do. You can't give up now, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys have, Jamuna, maybe you want to answer. Look at me, kenakan her. Jamuna, you are doing your makeup, right? Maybe you can ask these Akash questions. They are so amazing. You won't get another chance like this, so grab it. So one yes moment, like everybody can think about it. So as you give it a thought, I think we will move along. So I want to actually share how I did this thing. It's a very difficult task. No matter how many self-help books you read, no matter how many YouTube video you do, you watch or you create contents or whatever you do, I think it's so difficult to do this because like one moment you are fine with it, and the next minute you are like, "Ayo, I cannot lah." It's so difficult. It's like, okay, it's not for me. Okay, forget it. I don't like that. So how did I do this? I just want to share. So basically, if you look at the picture on your right, I really love how it's arranged, change and chance. So it's just one letter difference there. So if you look at it, not everybody will get a chance, and life doesn't always give you a second chance. When you get it, just make it. Then comes the change. So if you don't grab that chance, if you feel like, yeah, can do later lah, tomorrow, maybe next week, next year, I think you will never do it. And for me personally, people will be asking me, hey, why you want to do everything? For me, like, why can't I do everything? Why are you limiting yourself to just this? I want to actually explore my possibilities. I don't want to just live in my own cocoon and watch okay, this is my limitation. This is all I can do. I'm not that kind of person. I always like to break my own limits. So first thing is, I think, is to identify your fixed mindset. I'm so sorry that I is missing all this Sunday thing, Sunday's nonsense. So identify your fixed mindset and accept it that you need to foster growth mindset, because I see some people are very stubborn, really, really stubborn. No matter how much you tell them, they'll be in their own world, own cocoon, own bubble. They will never accept that they have to learn and grow. They'll be like, oh, no, I can't evolve. I'm born this way, let me be this way, stagnant. And as time goes, they will live with a lot of regrets, which we do not want, obviously, right? So I think one beautiful word that I came to terms with in the last 4 years, evolving and doing a lot of self-searching and all this, is the word authentic. I just love the word so much. It's like, and it's not easy to do that. It's like how the snake sheds its skin, right? So it's not easy to shed your own skin and to see your authentic self. Sometimes you may not like it. But when you embrace yourself, like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you really want to do this? So it's like, I don't know how I'll do it, but I will somehow kill it. The same goes to when I started the business in 2017. I had to quit my job. It was a good job. It's like not a very good pay, but I would say it was a satisfactory thing. I traveled a lot. It was very nice. But I told myself, is this your value? Is this your worth? This is all, is it? So when I ask myself that kind of questions, so this is the kind of questions you have to ask yourself to know whether your self-worth is defined by society, or you want to define your own worth. So that time myself asked me, hey, I don't want to end my life like this, 9 to 5, not me, you know? So many people were against the idea, and my family, actually, they didn't know I quit the job. I actually quit the job for 6 months. I didn't have a job. And the only thing that helped me was my makeup artist skill. That time it really helped me because I took all these little jobs. I followed my teacher. Sometimes she'll really help me to get her, like she will push her job to me. And really, it's like my side gig actually paid my bills. So I asked myself, if the little things that I do can actually help me this much, what if I take it to another step? So I grew from there. I asked myself, and then one thing that I was not so happy as a makeup artist is because sometimes the people you work with, I don't mind the long hours. It's like sometimes we really have to get up like 3 o'clock in the morning, go for makeup. The call time can be so early and all that. But sometimes it's also the mindset of the people you work with. So sometimes I couldn't tahan all that, but then I love doing makeup itself. So I turn it into my corporate trainings. When I do grooming for women, for personal branding, I thoroughly enjoy doing all that because there we can also apply the same skills and we can tell them how to dress up, how to be presentable, and all this stuff, how to make up for office and all that. The second thing is to break free from your own limiting beliefs and self doubts. So, like I said, I've always been a risk taker. I think there was this point where I was a newscaster, and then at that time when I quit my job, I didn't have a job again. I did the same thing, but I like that kind of adrenaline rush. I like that thrill. I don't know why I do that to myself. And then after sometimes I like I thought after doing a lot of reading and all that, I say maybe it's like self-sabotaging. You shouldn't do that in the future. It's like unless you have something, as a good backup, you don't do that to yourself. But then somehow I managed. That's like I didn't go into that or what. But then after I pushed myself in 2017, I told myself it's like somehow things will work out because I have the passion, I have the skill, I will do it. So that's when in 2017 I ventured fully into my training business. It was so scary. It's like walking on eggshells. So scary, super scary. Like I can't even explain it. It was really that scary because you have to pay your bills. It's like you have your commitments, you have family, you have to do this. And then sometimes you also self-maintain high maintenance. Sometimes you have your wants and needs and all that. So I told myself, if not now, I think I will have to go back to my 9 to 5, which I don't want. So I told myself, this is like one-way street. Sometimes the entrepreneurship journey can be a very lonely journey. I'm so lucky in that sense. I have very good friends. They are my support system. So they were like always pushing me from the back, just go for it, do it, and all that. Sometimes your own self-doubts can really drag you down. Like there's times when I went into depression, I had suicidal thoughts, like myself started questioning me, hey, what the hell are you doing? You have the skills, you are educated, just go back to this corporate world, you'll be well paid, you can settle. But there is this unexplainable thirst in me to say that, hey, no, this is not your word. Go do it, push for it, go for it. So there was this time in 2018 when I saw this 8,000 ringgit in a single check. I was like, this is my word. That's my word. Okay, so I was like, I'm not going to settle for less. It's not about the money, but it's just like playing games. It's like you're pushing your limits, right? So then the step 3, which is very important, to take the proactive actions to unlearn, relearn, and learn. This is what I did. I came to know this term in 2016 when I attended a course by my mentor. He's still my mentor, Dr. Edwin. I think I must mention his name here. He's almost 70. So in 2016, when he did this course for me, he's the first person who actually uh, noticed a spark in me. He said, hey, I think you can be a trainer. I was like, wow. Okay, so that's the moment I was like, that's my wow moment. But then again, I asked him, so do you think I can become a trainer? So he was like, from my participation in the class and all that, he said, I see that you have a very different style and you put people first. You care for what people want. That means you are empathizing with them. So that's one of the most important qualities a teacher, an educator should have. And I think you have that. So go for it, learn. So that's when I really dive deeper into learning. So I have these trainers who are my coaches. I look up to them. I learn how they do their business, how they marketing and all this. So from there, I think if I turn back like 2017 to now, I think though I'm not like making a lot of money, it's not about the money, but I'm so happy where I am. I am so happy that I took those actions that I did. It's like I broke my own limitations. I broke my own fear because again, all I want to ask myself is because if I'm a HRDF registered trainer, right? Per day, my payment can go up to 2,800 per day. So that's the kind of life I want to have. That's my word for per day, not for per month. So I didn't want to be there, so I moved on. So the for the youngsters, like when they want to jump into business, that's what I always tell them. Of course, you have to take the calculated risk, but if you don't jump, uh, it's not gonna be you wouldn't know the depth. It's like, of course, if it's, you don't wait for somebody to push you from the back. You have to jump. You have to dive. You have to see whether it works for you. If it doesn't work, it's fine. You can always find a job. It's not the end of the world. We are still surviving. It's pandemic and we are still surviving. So we will survive anything. So it's doable, right? So for people out there who are watching, I think these are the three main things. There are so many steps how you can foster growth mindset. I think it's mostly like a positive mindset, but with consistency. I think those who have this fixed mindset, they are like, how do I say this? Like settlers. They will settle for things. This is enough. This is what I deserve. I'm not meant for the bigger things. Okay. So if you have like a positive mindset, if you have growth mindset, and you will be the person who's always experimenting something new. You want to take the next step. Okay, what's next? What's next? So I think I'm that kind of person. I always have that hunger, the thirst for knowledge to move forward, to evolve. So it's okay, guys. It's okay to sometimes outgrow yourself. Because when in 2018, I had this fear looking at myself. I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, uh, it's like I'm outgrowing myself. You get what I mean, right? It's like I cannot take this. It's too heavy for me to bear. Am I becoming? Am I going to another extreme? Is it safe? That kind of thing started kicking in. So I was like, never mind. If you increase your vibration, you will meet the like-minded people, and I just did. So yeah, thank you so much for that. So yeah, I think when it comes to this growth mindset, this is a good practice that I've been following since 2016 from the training that I just mentioned. So it's about the words. I think like just like how mental health, right? People tell, oh no, you have to think good stuff, you have to meditate, then your mental health will be fine. But what I think is actually reverse. I think if you take care of your physical health, your mental health will be automatically fine. If you do exercise, if you just do a bit of workout, immediately you will have this all these nice emotions, nice feelings, uplift things and all that, right? So same things go for your mindset. If you change your words, your action will just follow. I think that there are days, of course, I can't even move from the bed. It's like it's so not my day. I don't want to do anything. It's very demotivating and all that. But the moment I change my words in my mind, for example, if you look at this on your left hand side, like how do I say? Like I made a mistake, for example. So you immediately change those wordings. It's like affirmation, but in more practical ways. You just have to tell yourself, mistakes help me learn. All right. So if you just ask yourself, maybe the purple color, let me, it's like you say, I give up. This is it, end of the world. I can't do this anymore. You immediately tell yourself, let me try another way. Before you give up, maybe just give it another shot. Maybe that will work. And that's how a lot of things worked for me. It's like sometimes I really want to give up. I will be like at the edge, and then I'll be like, hey, why not I try this step? Maybe that will work. That strategy might work. Okay. But we wouldn't have tried before that. So that's that. So on your right hand side, you can see this growth mindset. What can I say? It's like it's like a worksheet. So what you can do is every day, you can just, if you're doing a business, you can just write this kind of statements like affirmations. Just write whatever comes to your mind, all the negative things that come to your mind. Just write them down. I'm not good at this. I'm awesome at this. I give up. This is too hard. I can't make this any better. All the negative things, and try to change it into positive affirmations. I think this really helped me as well. So I'm sharing what worked for me. So you may actually go to like YouTube, there are so many growth mindset affirmations. You can try to do that. Sometimes, when I'm very down, I don't even want to actually watch the affirmations. It makes me irritated even more. you know, it's like, get lost with your affirmations.
Sometimes you're not in the mood to be motivated, right? You're like,
Like,
leave me alone.
I'm done
I
with
just
this.
want to be miserable today. Leave me alone.
Exactly. So, but despite that thoughts, that feelings, I think you just have to push yourself a little harder. You just have to. I'm not saying I'm not asking everybody to be perfectionists. No, make mistakes. I think mistakes are beautiful. Who are you if you don't make mistakes? I think every mistake creates a beautiful story to tell. So it can be anything. It can be relationship. It can be studies, education, it can be job. You make tons of mistakes, and then finally somehow you will know, okay, this method didn't work. Now I will go for this method.
The motto of my life.
That's this thing they say. I don't make mistakes once. I make few times just to make sure, something like that.
That's my sister. She does it a few times, and then she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I think I listen now."
You're right.
Yeah, just to be sure, you make it few times. That's so cool. All right, we do have time, right? So sorry, it's like so many stories. I have so much to share. Do we have any questions or any comments from anybody?
No, Rubini says must always be on the ball, shouldn't stagnate the learning process. I think that was when you asked about a growth mindset.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it okay? Rubini is my best friend actually. She's my cheerleader. So yeah.
And then we have Ramasamy Tana who said, Ka, I also love to do makeup.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
think, like for example, what you just shared earlier on the previous slide about affirmations, like I believe in affirmations as well, and I used to do them. I mean, I still do them up till today. And for me, what really helped was because a lot of times, even when I speak to people and we talk about like affirmations, and even myself, my personal experience, when I used to sometimes tell myself like, I don't know, whatever, like I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm going to get what I want, I'm going to manifest it. But then there's this voice inside you that's like who are
Oh
you kidding?
yes. Yes.
Like who are you kidding? Like, what are you talking about? And
Yeah.
for me,
I
what
thought it was only me.
yeah, and for me, what really changed, and I think this goes for every woman, I think it's so important for them to understand this as well, is that the most important thing, I think, is that sense of self love and self worthiness. To know that you are worthy of everything that you desire. Because sometimes when you don't have that belief instilled, like there's a part of us that feels like I'm not worthy of it, I'm not meant for it, like I don't deserve that. And then when you go ahead and say, like, no, I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it, that's when I feel like there's a mismatch
Oh,
because
yeah.
your true self doesn't believe that this is actually possible for you. So for me personally, that's what shifted. And when I truly understood the meaning of self love, respecting myself, loving myself, knowing that I'm worthy of everything that I desire, because I think that at the end of the day, what we desire is something that the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, has placed in us, Like, for example, for yourself, it was that thing that kept telling you that, hey, like you are meant to do more, you are meant to go out there and do bigger things, like you're not just this. And when we actually listen to that and we follow that, there's a part of us that is saying, yes, I deserve this, I'm meant for more, and I should go after it. There's a lot of disconnect for women that happens when they believe that other voice, which tells them, maybe you're not worth it, just settle where you are. You're not meant
Yeah.
for bigger things. And I think for women especially, right, it's so important to understand that, to really believe that everything comes from that, which is how you see yourself.
Yeah.
And then your world kind of reflects that eventually. And I loved what you put earlier as well about the change and the chance, because I think that's really true. And sometimes, like when we get chances in life, we feel like, okay, I need to act, I need to act. But a lot of times, even like for me personally, and even my sister, I know for a fact, and even maybe for yourself, I've realized that the minute I started changing my self beliefs about myself, the minute I started changing my mindset, which is what we're talking about, that is when even more chances came to us.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Very
So
true.
sometimes it's like it can work the other way as well. Like the more you change your mindset, the more you believe, you have that growth mindset, the more you believe in possibilities and you truly believe that you deserve it. Like, I deserve this. If I want something, I should go after it, and put your limiting voices aside. That's when I think more chances actually come to us. And I think for women, it's so important to remember that. because that's where sometimes we go wrong. We listen to the other voice and then we
Oh
are like,
yeah.
"Oh, I don't want to do this."
Because when you
Yeah,
tell
I think
yourself a different
it's not
story, which
easy.
is like, I love myself, you truly value and you truly value yourself and see your self-worth, right? You're also able to take better chances. You're able to see and identify the good chances for you. Because when we tell ourselves another story, which is the opposite, we see all the bad chances. We see all the chances that we shouldn't be taking, and we take that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely that inner story as well, that you're constantly telling yourself and truly believing in it, that also defines everything else, that sort of portrays back onto your life and what your experience is.
It's so true. It's like, yeah, I thought it was only me who's thinking like that, but yeah, it's true. It's like how we settle for the other voice, right? It's very wrong. So I think
Yeah.
that's where we have to be very conscious and shut the voice. It's like, hey, shut up. I know what I'm doing. So cool, so cool. I think this is something I want to share from my personal experience again. So it's a foolproof mentality for entrepreneurs. Sometimes you have to wear this bulletproof jacket as entrepreneurs because it's not easy. Every single time people gonna come and tell you, "Hey, no, don't do this. You're not good at this. This is not for you." All kind of things. You're gonna fail. You know. So I think the first thing is, of course, to find your ikigai. I love this Japanese word. Ikigai is passion, where, okay, for all of you who are aspiring to become makeup artists, or as now you guys are makeup artists, so it's makeup, fashion, beauty. This industry is your passion. That means no matter what, you will never withdraw from it. I think for me, the passion now is, of course, my training and my NGO that I'm doing. It's like no matter what, even if I don't have money, even if I'm tired, when I wake up, that's like the last thing I think about before I sleep. First thing I think about, like, it's like a boyfriend. So it's like it's so I so know this is the right thing that I'm doing right now. So it's like there's no better things that I could possibly do. So that is your passion, something that is like igniting your spark. That is your passion, right? So the second thing is to face rejection like a queen, because as time goes, as entrepreneurs, you have to have this thick skin, like rejection. Wow, it's okay. It's like that means it's also a part of growth mindset, like how you reword stuff and how you look at things from a different perspective. For me, when I face rejection, is a redirection. That
Yeah.
means sometimes I am right now, to think about it, I am so happy for some rejections that I faced, because without those rejections, I wouldn't be here. It could be a job opportunity, like when I went for like TV hosting. Though I was a news presenter before, when I went for news, like a program talk show hosting, a few times I was rejected. I was like very down. I was so depressed. I was like, oh my god, what the hell? It's like, I know for sure I have what it takes, but why are they rejecting me? So
Mhm.
it's like the more rejections I saw, the more learning I did. The more I went back, and though I was like down for a while, then I immediately bounced back, and I tell myself, that means something is lacking, work on it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I do. And when you are doing business, you have to be that deaf rock. You have to be, because people are going to tell all kinds of things. As it is, you have to manage your own mind voice, and then people will come and drag you even more. So it's like you always have to just keep going. It's like when you are sure of your visions, it's okay if anyone else cannot see it. It's fine, because you are building your own castle in your own mind, so you know how it looks. So don't care about anybody. And then I think the best next thing to do is to invest in yourself. When I say invest in yourself, it can be to enhance your knowledge. Your self-care is utmost important. Your health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your financial health, your friends. These are all investments for yourself. I think never ever be stingy to take care of yourself. I think this is like one hard lesson I learned in 2018. It's like coming from this kind of family or background, society even. So we are so conditioned that we must always be selfless. As women, you always must give, and then you got nothing to give. So you become a beggar. So I think we should put ourselves first. So that's where you grow, and that's where you break your limitations. I think next thing is, of course, to keep experimenting. And as I said, I think I will never stop being a learner. I will always experiment. It's okay if I fail. I think um, that's what entrepreneurs should be doing. So right now we have this very famous thing that we say about social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs are problem solvers, right? They look for a problem in the society and then they come up with solution. You think they're gonna win at the first take? Of course not. So every single thing that we are using today, let it be our gadgets and everything, it all came after so much of failures. So as entrepreneurs, I think to perfect your product or service, you have to keep experimenting. And to say this, I think one very good news that I want to share is like, for years I've been like digging deeper. Like I didn't find my niche. I didn't know my forte. So as I grew along this year, when during the lockdown and all that, I went into like very bad depression in last year, November. And then I spoke to my friend. I told her, hey, you know what? I have this idea. Let's do business together. Let's start, our own training center. At first, she's just asked me for some time, and then knowing how I think, how I work, and everything, she immediately said, okay. And I immediately packed my bags. Before another lockdown, I shifted to Penang. It's like I don't know why I did that, how I did that, but I did it, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made because we are going to another level altogether. We have to actually, yeah, it's like we are working with some organizations whom I never even thought in the wildest dream I'll be working with. I can't reveal it now because we are in the midst of signing MOU. So I never thought this will happen. But then when it's happening, I just thank myself. I thank my decisions. It's like I tell myself, oh my God, I actually did this. So yeah, that's something very important. And one of the most important things for all the makeup artists, I think you guys just started this group, the Elite Makeup Artist group, right? So all of you are very lucky to have a mentor and coach. I think most people, entrepreneurs especially, they underestimate the power of mentor and coach. So it's like it's like a pillar. So every time you feel like you're collapsing or you don't know where you're going, they are like the backbone that supports you. So please have a mentor, please have a coach. It doesn't mean they have to be like a physical like a person. Like for me, I take even Oprah Winfrey, she's my mentor. Now I look up to Dr. Shefali. They can be far, but you just have to follow their activities, their lessons, just follow, and then I think we will fly high if you can do all this.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we have one more thing to cover. Let's read this together.
Ethics.
I know it's wrong. Actually, I think that's the whole point. I think that's the whole point why I put it as wrong spelling. As much as we all know ethics, it's just on paper, but we hardly practice it. Especially for makeup artists, because I've seen a lot, and then sometimes I feel like I just want to tell it to their face, but then I'll be like, no, it's okay. If I know the person, I'll tell them. If I don't know, then it's like, okay, all the best to you, right? Especially with the timing. So that's why for me, this is I don't know. Not exactly sure if this is the definite terms, but I find it so relatable. That's why I came up with this acronym for this. So for me, the E is etiquette. And I think the first thing everybody notice about a makeup artist is how you present yourself. If you are not going to be presentable, if your work is not talking your skills and all that, I think there's no point you being a makeup artist because your action speaks louder. So I think that's where a makeup artist can grow to the next level. If your presentation, your outlook, and your outcome doesn't match, I think you have to think of a different career altogether because it's very very important. The next thing is actually time. T stands for time. Punctuality. It's that I don't know again. Especially makeup artists, I've known like last time when I was working as a makeup artist, freelance makeup artist. If my call time is like 4, sometimes there were days I won't even sleep. I'll be so scared that I'll sleep off. So I'll be like putting my alarm like that, and then I'll be like so alert. I want to be there on time. I will never actually tolerate even tiny minute delay. I won't tolerate that. Of course, we have clients who will be like, 1 hour late, 2 hours late. By the time you are going to their house, then only they'll wake up at Monday. Oh, sorry, I slept off. All these things, but you don't um, negotiate your timing because that's your branding, right? So there's no point if you are all amazing, glorious on your LinkedIn, your social media platforms, but then when you go there like so late for your appointment, I think that is not a good thing lah. So you should know that. And the H is actually for high. Why I say high? As makeup artist, I think you always have to be high on everything, high on energy, high on your positivity, high on your vibrance, everything. You have to really, really be high. And it's not an easy thing. So I think, of course, you guys know it better. It's like if you have like 2, 3 calls for a day, 2, 3 appointments in a day, it's like, I don't know how you guys manage it. It's like at one point I got back pain. And that's one of the reasons as well I had to change, because I was an events officer. So when I do events in other countries and all that, I have to stand and walk in my heels for hours, and that also affected my back pain and all that. So I thought, okay, maybe this job is not for me. That's why I shifted. And the I stands for integrity. I love this word, integrity. When you say integrity, not only your integrity with your clients, also with other makeup artists. When I say integrity, when you go for makeups, appointments, and all that, you will have your clients sometimes who will be telling their whole sad stories, grandmother stories, and all that to you. Please keep them a secret. I think because in the panic mode, because when you go for a wedding or any occasions, the people, your clients will be very restless. They won't be in their right mind, so they just want to tell all the stories in the world to you.
Yeah.
Because they will trust you. So it's of high integrity. It's important that you keep the story within you. Don't go back and tell people. Don't go and talk about it to other people. I think it's highest order that you should have. That's ethics for me. And another integrity point is also do not degrade, do not demote any other makeup artist. That's not your job. I think I've heard this many times. Like, I don't know why when they choose, let's say, makeup artist A, and then they have to actually put down another makeup artist. It's like they must do it, otherwise they cannot be in peace. I don't know why you do that. If your job is good, you're gonna get business. End of story. You don't have to demote others to get business, right?
That's all probably coming from a star city mindset, right? Feeling
Exactly. Maybe they're not confident about their work,
yeah.
so they have to put another party down. So that's something very people gonna judge you. You see, like it or not, people will always be judging. As much as we say don't judge people, it's not gonna happen. People gonna judge you for the way you behave. And then the C stands for client oriented. It's important to keep client relations, build client relations, and service. Sometimes, like when I was doing the freelance thingy, I even used to call them on their wedding anniversary. I keep my database. I call them on their anniversary. I wish them, and I hardly did any marketing. All my makeup, my clients were from word of mouth. Even though it's like very little occasions, like wedding, like engagements, birthday parties, and all that. I was happy doing what I was doing, and when I know I do a good job, it feels so good. It feels very satisfying. So I think the relationship is very important, and that's where your service is actually rated by your clients. So that's important. And the last one, the S, actually stands for support. To support your client, always support them. Like I said above, in the above thing, in integrity, they always want to share stories with you. They always want to talk. Just support them. Sometimes, like I've seen brides who break down during the makeup. I'm sure both of you will have so many stories there. It's like how they're not sure of the groom. Am I doing the right thing? Seriously. Yeah, it's like a disaster. They'll be like, they have all kinds of moods. Like sometimes you can just feel their vibe.
It's
So
more, it's
have you
usually
had that
mostly,
also?
it's usually mostly the in-laws and not the groom.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like, and then how the mother-in-law will come and tell, hey, why don't you put a little bit of pink shade? Why don't you add that blue eyeliner, whatever? So it's like,
Yeah.
ayo. So it's like very susah lah, Asian bride. So, so and then also to support other makeup artists. This one I think very important as women. In the last 2 3 years, I've been seeing this pattern where women supporting women business. Before that, it was not very popular because I think mostly we have this fear. And generally, when I talk to men, my guy friends, they will even ask me, "Hey, why young girls are always jealous for another when they look at another girl?" I'll be like, "No, I don't feel jealous. I only want my woman to do the best. If she's better than me, I'll be even more happy for her." So if you are doing good, and then if you are also promoting other makeup artists, it's like uh, there's no harm in it. Okay, nobody can steal your spark. So shine in your own way. So don't think by promoting other people, your business gonna be affected. So that means you have to really work on your skills more. So I think this is what ethics mean to me as makeup artist. All right. Uh, so yeah, I think that's it from me.
I'm really glad that you brought the last part up as well, like this whole part on ethics, especially for makeup artists and everything that you have listed down, because I think these are things that a lot of people do not talk about, makeup artists
Mm,
included.
mm,
And the focus and priority is always given to just the skill of the makeup and the hair. But I think being a successful makeup artist, and especially if you want to become a world renowned makeup artist, to go international, to really be known not just for your talent, but as a business person, how you handle your business, right? All these are extremely important because without this, I think it becomes really hard to sustain in this industry where
mm,
there's so much of competition. There are makeup artists who are super talented everywhere. And that's why a lot of times I think makeup artists find it really hard to sustain, or they complain that, there's so much talent, like it's so hard for me to stand out, it's so hard for me to get clients. But we both know, because we have been in this for 12 years, we know what the business is like. There's this part of the profession that a lot of people miss, the business aspect of it, the professionalism part about it, like how to make sure that you're able to focus on that as well and build your brand, build that awareness, or, oh, okay, this makeup artist, like, it's not just about their work, but there's so much more that you get to experience when you work with them. And I think that is really important to have when you are wanting to become big, when you are wanting to grow, when you see your business and you really take your profession as a makeup artist and you want to take it to the next level. Because, we tell this to our clients all the time. If you are just looking at skill when it comes to being a makeup artist, which is makeup and hair, how many talented makeup artists are there even in Malaysia? There are so many, right? So many talented makeup artists, and they keep coming, like new makeup artists. And just because they are new, like, don't discredit them, because we have seen a lot of super talented makeup artists who are completely new. But that's the thing, right? Especially now with such a saturated market, with so much of demand as well for makeup artists, it's really important to pay attention to this, which is how the business aspect of a makeup artist profession, like, what is that all about? And I'm really glad that you touched on that today, because I think this is what a lot of us are missing. Especially, in fact, not just especially aspiring makeup artists, I think there are people who have been doing it for some time as well who miss this. And this is what I like, we both believe really makes a difference in how far you're able to take your business, how much you can sustain, and how much people actually begin to not look up to you, but you really sort of become like a standard in the industry,
yes.
and you're like, that's what I want to do. Like, that's how I want to be. And without all this, without having that integrity, without, having that mindset where you want to support other coming up makeup artists, you want to give back to them, you want to add value. It's not about the competition. That is when now, like, you are able to really reach out to a lot more people. So I'm really glad that you brought this up, because I think it's a very, very important topic for anyone in the makeup industry to be aware of, and it's not spoken about a lot at all.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are aware, Shalini, that the both of us actually have a training academy for specifically for makeup
The
artists.
pro artist.
Yes,
Right.
Academy. It's a training academy specifically for makeup artists, whether they're aspiring or like existing makeup artists. So we basically train them on makeup, hair, and we also train them on the business aspect of it. And I just realized now as well, when we were talking in the beginning before we went on live, that you actually mentioned that so many of the girls in your training academy are so into like wanting to learn and become makeup artists. So I think it's so important that, you know, even with our academy, right, we like the focus was so much on building this makeup artists to be successful and to sustain, and not just to train them in terms of like makeup and hair. So we dedicated an actual program as part of the academy as well, specifically on, you know, cultivating all these business ethics in them. And also, you know, like things like how to use social media, how to capitalize on, you know, certain things for their business, and how to grow. So even for that academy, like it's so close to our hearts, because like together with makeup and hair, all these other things are so important for a woman to possess if she wants to succeed as a makeup artist, even to set up her career in the beginning to start with, right? So yeah, like it's I that's why like this topic was a really good one, and I'm so glad that, in fact, I didn't know that your past you were also a makeup artist. You also have that sort of a background. So I think to actually like end our virtual summit with this topic, and coming from a makeup artist point of view as well, I know there was a reason it had to happen that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are like our Bobby Brown lah. You know, it's like that's how I look at you guys. It's like I look at you guys like, you know, wow, like so wow.
Thank you.
I've always adored the way you guys work, the way you the outlook you give. I don't know how you guys do this. So that's something, if you guys can share with us, like how do you both actually do this? How? What's the magic thing that you have?
I think for us, the both of us, right, one of the things that really drives us is not just the fact that we are makeup artists, but I think the fact that we want to also inspire the women who who are around us in our surroundings. So whether it's a client or whether it's another woman. So in our, you know, nature of job, like we work a lot with our brides. And you know, as brides, like every week we are meeting with so many women. So I think having that, and us ourselves, we are just naturally people who like you know, really taking care of ourselves and presenting ourselves well. And then we have the career that sort of we feel like it is a need. We have to present ourselves well. You know,
Yeah.
it's so important so that your clients can actually like respect you and take you seriously, and admire you for that as well. And then thirdly comes being able to actually reflect that back on another woman and inspire her through even the littlest thing. So it could be the way we speak with her, the way we empathize, the way we form a relationship, the way we connect. You know, there's so many things. And that is where I think with our job, we don't just see it as a career, as a job. We see it as something on a larger scale. If I am going to be a part of your wedding, if I'm going to be a part of your married life, the next stepping stone in your life, like I think that is very, very precious to us, to be able to, we are very like happy to be a part of that journey for you and to make that day for you extra special. So we feel of it in that terms, you know, like it comes from a deeper feeling of, you know, empathy, and you know, a sense of admiration for other women as well. So I think that because of that, we are able to take care of all these little things that, you know, are very important to us. We want to be able to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
In the beginning, there was also a time when, you know, like I think when we all begin in our careers, like, yeah, we would go to work and, you know, everything looked great. But then when we went out, we want to sort of take a break, like not have makeup on, or, you know, just be in like our glasses and just look very like, you know, like I don't care, you know. And then there were people outside who would come to us and be like, hey, you are like Sue and Sudha, like from Faces, you are this.
Oh my god.
So, you know, it came to a point where like, oh my God, this is not good. Like, this is not how you want to be seen. It's not, it's, I don't mean to sound like too, like, I don't mean like you have to put full on makeup or whatever. No, but I think just the presentation of yourself, you know. So even today, nowadays, like even if I don't feel like wearing makeup, but at least, you know, like have not like my lenses on, and like my hair is very neatly done and I look very presentable and nice to look at. But my skin, pay attention to skincare because it improves the texture of your skin, how it looks like. I even changed the frame of my glasses so I can be out with my glasses on more often instead of having my lenses all the time. So all these little things, they make so much of difference to how a person, like a woman in general, not just the makeup artist, but a woman in general, takes care of herself. It shows. And I think that alone inspires another woman. Like for us, we actually notice, like when women especially, put that bit of effort in actually presenting themselves, grooming themselves, taking care of themselves, it makes a lot of difference. And you need to prioritize and value yourself, and, allow yourself to give you that much of love and care, at least.
Yeah, completely agree with that. And also, I just want to add to that, like, I think for me personally, right, when it comes to the business aspect and, having been doing this for 12 years, and there are still a lot of things that we want to achieve, and, levels of success that we have still not got to. But I think for me personally, the one thing that has really kept me going, no matter how things seemed or how hard it got or how sometimes demotivated I would get, was the reminder to myself that you are really lucky to be waking up and doing something you're passionate about. And because I did a 9 to 5 when I was back home in Brunei for 2 years, and I really, really hated it. No, I didn't hate the profession, but it was not something I wanted to do. Like, I did not enjoy it. And I knew that I wanted to really do something else that I really enjoyed doing. So, I used to tell myself when I was in that job, like, I would never want to be in this position again, because, I was already like 24, 23, 24, and there were days when I felt like crying when I had to wake up to go to work. That was how depressed I was.
Oh, I understand that. I can relate.
Yeah, so
Drag yourself.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, I really cannot be in this position again. And that's what made me really think about what do you want to do with your life. It's either you go down that road again or you do something else, and I had to make a decision. And so I did. And that's how I got into makeup, because that was something that, we were both very passionate from a very young age, and we were good at it. We had talent in it, and so that's how I got involved in makeup. And I think along the years, as I got to do it, when I started, I had zero experience. I was not professionally trained to be a makeup artist. I have a degree in psychology, and my sister has a degree in business admin. We studied for something completely different. So
But I think it's a very beautiful, brilliant blend.
Sorry?
Business and psychology. It's a brilliant blend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I got into it, I kept reminding myself, and I think that is something that I do until today that drives me, which is, you're one of the lucky ones who is doing what they love. You're getting a chance to, wake up every day and work for yourself, build for yourself. It's not easy. Like, you don't have that secure paycheck at the end of the month if you did a job. But at the same time, like, the possibilities are limitless.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that has always kept me grounded, like, for both of us, I think, to always remind ourselves that, also because of that, you remind yourself that your clients come first. Because without clients, you don't have a business. And I always tell this to all our students as well. No matter how talented you are, no matter how amazing you are, no matter like how great we think we are, without clients, you don't have a business. So it really comes back to being customer oriented, especially if you are in the service industry. It's
Yeah.
always catering to what they want, listen to them. And sometimes they may be wrong, but at the same time, I think having that professionalism to know how to handle the situation. And I think that alone has made us both, come a long way, and always keep us grounded, to always have that reminder that, like, you are lucky, because it's not like you said, it's not about the money, it's not about the success, but waking up every day and doing what you love, I think that's already a huge win. And if you can keep doing that, and if you can do that on a larger scale, and if you can travel the world doing that, and if you can make a lot of money doing that, if you can impact a lot of lives doing that, and then to give back to women, because I know that there are a lot of women out there who do not have that belief, or might be trapped in a position where they feel that this is not possible for me. You know, I cannot do that. I've got responsibilities, I've got family, I've got kids, I've got, you know, I can't. I just can't. It's not something that I can do. But we both want to be able to, you know, eventually show women around the world, because we came from a background that was not the best. You know, we were not like just born with silver spoons, and we did not have the right opportunities come our way at all. But we really had to struggle in the beginning to get to where we are, you know. And even until today, because we are both women who we really have huge dreams, and sometimes, you know, like people look at us and like, why can't you guys just chill and not do anything, right? But that's not how we are. Like, we are always aiming for the next thing. And because of that, like, I think it's so important to be able to make women realize that. And that is something very passionate to us as well. To be able to let another woman know, maybe through our story or taking us as an example, you know, if they started with nothing, if they started with zero, if they started with so many problems, like, and they still got what they wanted, like, maybe I can do it too. And I think that is something that drives us until today. So that's for us, like, that's what drives us, you know, like, it's the makeup and hair. Yes, like, we are passionate about it, but it's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than just doing the makeup and hair. It's who you become in the process, and then what you're able to do for the women who also want to do the same thing.
Very true, very true. I think it's about I like it's like how more than a service, I think it's a collective duty to uplift. Like, once you are somewhere, I think it's our duty to bring other people as well together.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you guys are doing, and I've been following your progress like since like 2013 to now, and you guys, like, wow, like, you know, I saw your lashes and all that. I was like, wow, it's like, this is how makeup artists should grow. So it's like you guys are like a very good example for all of us.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for that. And yeah,
All
I
right.
think we are
Great.
done.
So
Yeah.
yes, whoever has questions, please do drop it in the comments below, so we could actually get to those.
And also, maybe, you know, like, is there, you know, like, would that be your IG handle, or maybe your website, that anyone who would want to connect with you to see what you are, you know, involved in, or how they can be in touch with you if they want to get in touch about the projects that you're working with? What would be the best profile, or how would they best reach you?
I think for my personal, it will be my LinkedIn. My name is right here. Shalini Ganesan is my name.
Okay.
So for my business, for my NGO, sorry, it's Wild Malaysia. It's YILD. So shall I just type it here?
Yeah. So for any of you who maybe want to reach out to, is it Salini or Shalini?
The pronunciation goes Shalini, but it's spelled this way.
Okay,
My
all right.
father was neurological.
Yeah, so if any one of you wanted to, you know, wants to be in touch with Shalini for her projects, for the service that she's doing, which I think is really amazing, feel free to be in touch with her. Those are her contact details. And yeah, you can connect with her on LinkedIn. You can connect with her on Instagram. That's how I got in touch with her. And yeah, it's been an amazing 1 hour with you, Shalini. We want to both thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for having me. It's like, seriously, it's still a blessing. I count this as one of the best blessings for this month. It's like, yeah, I was telling my friends, I was like so happy. It's like, you know, sometimes you just think of certain things. Like, years back, when I say I looked up to you guys, I meant it. It's like, we should come to that level, you know? So you guys like sort of set that standard already years back. I'm not talking about now. So for me to actually be talking to you guys right now, I think it's a big honor. That means I've done something right.
I think, like, for us to connect now as well, I'm sure that, you know, just like how we have learned from you, I think it's a two-way thing, right? Like, there's always a reason why two people connect.
Oh yeah,
they both, I think, learn from each other. So it's been amazing, and thank you so much for coming on board. You're doing an amazing job with the the community of women as well, the young women. I think
Yeah.
that's really great. And both of us would be more than happy to
Anyway,
come in and in any way just assist with that project, because these are things that are really close to our hearts as well.
Awesome. So we already know what to do next with them. Like we're gonna tell them, oh, we're gonna meet phases. They'll be like so excited. All right.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much, Shalini. Honestly, yeah, thank you for coming on board, and we'll be in touch with you soon.
Yeah, sure.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Keep inspiring us.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.